This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Sam Garrett, the CEO of Great Southern Copper, following exploration development at the Especular project in Chile. Thank you very much for joining us today. Sam, how are you?
Good morning, Mark. It's nice to talk to you again. I'm well, thank you.
Well, let's talk about what's been going on at the project here in Chile, because you've had a couple of news recently. You've had the rock chip samples and also even doing some scout drilling. So perhaps just give us a bit of an update on what's been happening here.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. We've announced further high-grade sampling or high-grade results from our sampling at the Victoria prospect.
Yeah.
From their latest program there of 71 outcrop and float samples. Mm-hmm. These are the highest results from that prospect. We have earlier reported grades up to 6.9% copper and 84 grams silver, for example. But what's important is that we're delivering consistently high results in the sampling, and consistency is key because that gives us confidence, and the confidence to be moving forward towards delivering Victoria towards its drilling stage. What we're learning from our work there is that the Victoria mineralisation is very similar in style to the mineralisation we're currently drilling at Teresita, where we've almost finished that program, and we made an announcement last week along those regards. So, we're looking forward to receiving the results of both the Teresita and Abundante drill campaigns.
Okay, and just on the rock chip sampling, this is it's a bit more than going around picking up rocks. So you chipping them sort of manually off the outcrop. Is that what it is?
That's right. These are predominantly outcrop samples. I think it was of the 71 samples, 55 were outcrop samples. It's what we refer to as an in situ sample. The float samples, if our readers, our stakeholders, our viewers, our shareholders will know from earlier releases that the Victoria prospect was found or discovered by Great Southern from a float sampling campaign. Mm-hmm. And we used that campaign to work out where the outcrop anomalies were. So it's been a very successful campaign in Victoria. We've still got a little bit of work to do there to get a bit more confidence around where we think the vein breccia structures are trending to optimise our drilling. But we're not far off.
Okay, so the next stage would be drilling. Is that right? So this stage is helping you to sort of identify where you might want to drill, effectively help you try and hone down on targets. Correct.
Okay. One of the things we discussed in the release was the difference we see between samples of the silica sulfide versus samples of the siderite. We know now the siderite isn't carrying mineralisation. So we can make sure, or attempt to make sure, at least from surface, that our drill targeting focuses on the silica dominant vein breccias. Okay. And this is all part of our strategy to build this drilling pipeline, as we refer to it in the company, at Especular. So that we want our stakeholders and shareholders to understand that we're not a one-trick pony. We're actually delivering a very deep pipeline of high-quality, high-grade copper and copper-gold targets at Especular.
Okay. Now you mentioned the other project just earlier. I forget the name, but you said it was very similar. You were seeing similar things to what you're seeing at the other project.
That's right. So the mineralisation we see at Victoria is very similar in style to what we're currently drilling at Teresita. The main difference is that at Teresita, the samples are more gold rich, if you like.
Okay.
Whereas we do see high grade gold at Victoria, but it's predominantly a copper rich system.
Okay.
And the importance for that is that it demonstrates to us that there's zonation in the broader system at Especularita, and it really is allowing us to view Especularita as a very large mineralised system.
Okay. And the fact that it's similar to the Teresita project there, I mean, what stage is that area at the moment? Are you all sort of into drilling on that one?
Teresita, we're currently scout drilling. We're scout drilling now. That program will be finished soon, and we announced that last week. So we're going to learn a lot from the scout drilling program, and we'll be able to apply that knowledge to Victoria. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak.
Okay. So you're scout drilling over there, and is the plan to start sort of scout drilling at Especularita as well?
We will eventually. The aim is to be drilling another 2 prospects in the first half of this year. That's our aim. We don't know specifically which of our projects in the pipeline that may be. We are working up other prospects as well, namely Aurelia, which our shareholders will know is a high grade copper gold skarn system. So we're spoilt for choice, but the important thing is we've got our team in the field working these projects up and developing this pipeline for us.
Indeed. So you want to develop that pipeline and get drilling in the first half of the year. I mean, you say you want sort of two prospects. I mean, possibly more. I mean, how sort of active could the drilling season look like for the company?
I'm very confident that we will have more.
Right.
The more work we do at Especularita, the more opportunities we will develop, and it's all leading towards exploring and understanding the larger picture, which is the potential for the porphyry copper mineralisation beneath the Colorado lithocap, which is sort of the centre of our system at Especularita.
Okay, so ideally you'd be looking to find the sort of centre of that porphyry. Really, that would be the sort of the dream outcome of a drill campaign.
Yes and no. I mean, we're a small company, so smaller, high-grade copper deposits actually sit very well with us. Big, low-grade porphyries cost a lot of money and suit a bigger company better. However, we would be very happy to discover one. Don't get me wrong, but we've got to learn. That porphyry is potentially sitting below that sort of barren lithocap alteration, which makes it a lot more difficult to explore for. So we're sort of vectoring inwards, so to speak. So from understanding our high grade systems around the margin of that lithocap, and this is a very common theme around large porphyry copper systems, is that outside of the central porphyry copper, you have these sort of zonations outwards with smaller but high grade systems. And in Chile, they can be, we're seeing at Especularita, we're seeing intrusive related gold vein breccias. We're seeing breccia pipes such as Abundante, which we've just finished drilling, and we're seeing the skarn system. So, we're spoiled for choice, but it's been a strategic play from the very beginning prior to IPO, that we were putting this large package together with all these attractive targets.
Indeed. I mean, at some point, I guess you're not there yet, but at some point you may have the situation where you've got to decide, where you're going to follow, what you're going to go and actually explore further. But I mean, it's probably too early to be talking about that yet. That will be a challenge in itself when there's almost too many things to kind of think about there. But I mean, if you were to kind of set out, let's just think about let's go towards the sort of the drill campaign, really, because at the moment you've got the kind of the early stage, the rock chip sampling, you've got the scout drilling, so it's all preparing for the drill campaigns, as you say, that are going to be starting. What would be the sort of vision of the company? Where would you like to see the company sort of as you start drilling, and then what would you like to see sort of post? What would be the ideal sort of thing you'd like to achieve once you've actually completed the first round of drilling?
That's a very good question, Mark. We would like to be drilling another 2 prospects in the first half of this year. That's our first aim. And that is subject to, the vagaries of our business, being rig availability, access to ground, all those sorts of things. But that is our aim. And we would like to be, by the end of the year, operating on exploration companies have to be positive. Otherwise, there's no point in being in this business. But we would like to be in a phase 2 type drilling scenario, so leading towards resource drilling by the end of the year into 2025. That would be our optimum scenario. We would like to be starting the drill testing of the larger porphyry target by the end of this year into early next year. That would be another outcome for Especular. And don't forget, we've also got our San Lorenzo project to the north, which we're working on, and our lithium project. So we've got a lot to do, and we've got a very good team, experienced team to get us there. But baby steps. But all of our steps are bearing fruit, and we've got a very strategic approach to how we explore our ground. And how we enhance the prospectivity of our ground by adding in new areas. So, we're always trying to enhance the prospectivity of our projects by bolting on high quality targets. So that's also part of the strategy. So over the next sort of 6 to 12 months, our shareholders and stakeholders should expect to have news from us, that we're adding new projects into the system, new projects into the Especular system, so to speak.
Okay, excellent. It certainly sounds like it could be quite an active year, potentially new projects coming in there to complement the existing portfolio, but also getting active on the ground, which is always an exciting point for any junior mining exploration company. But it certainly sounds like you're lining up for that very nicely. So I'm looking forward to following that as and when you start. But for now, thank you very much, Sam Garrett, the CEO of Great Southern Copper.
Thanks, Mark. Nice to talk to you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.